What are food forests and how are they different than regular orchards?
A food forest or a forest garden is modeled after a forest edge, where not only do you have your understory trees, which are like fruit trees, but you have overstory trees that may grow to 50, 100 feet. You have shrubs, herbaceous plants, ground covers, roots, and even vines twirling up where the light is good.
Are there challenges or disadvantages if you don't plan it correctly?
It's challenging to decide how to arrange plants together so they'll play nice. And I approach it as an experiment. Um, I don't assume I know in advance. I make my best guess. I put the plants in and then I observe what happens. And if some of them are happy, that's great. If others are not, or if some overtake others, then I'm learning from that. And I know in the future how to adjust my arrangements.
But what are the advantages? Ultimately, what do we get out of using the space in that way?
Well, first of all, you get an incredible amount of abundance in terms of food production, because not only do you just have fruit trees, but you have shrubs that have berries, perhaps herbs that have culinary and medicinal value. Perennial vegetables could be in the understory, in the herbaceous layer as well. And then you build in through other plants all the benefits that your plants require to be healthy.
So, okay, here we have a garden, let's say whether it's my garden or somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
You've already got, let's say, a fruit tree or two, you've
Mm-hmm.
got some shrubs, and you think, well, I should probably keep those. You want to turn it into a food forest. What would you say is the first step to do so?
Preparing the soil, probably sheet mulching. If you have sod surrounding everything, you'd probably want to eliminate that so you can make room to put in other plants that are more desirable. So I would sheet mulch with cardboard, brown cardboard, and then covering it with some kind of organic matter, whatever you have at hand. And you have to top it with a couple of inches of something that doesn't have any seeds in it, because you don't want to create a bed of weeds. So I usually use dry leaves, fallen from trees, and then I top it with wood chips.
So we've got our existing trees, we've got our layer that's covered, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're starting to think of what shrubs do we want and what plants do we want
Right.
under our trees.
Right.
So can we just choose anything, or are there certain plants that you would say are great? And let's focus on nitrogen fixing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great plants that will support our fruit
Mhm.
trees.
So one shrub that I really like that's also fruit bearing is the gumi, and it is hardy to zone 5. It'll grow maybe 6 by 6, but you can keep it pruned if that's too large. If you need something smaller, New Jersey tea is the smallest woody shrub I know of. And it was used for tea in the revolutionary times in the US. The leaves were, but it fixes nitrogen. It has lovely white flowers that attract some beneficial insects.
Let's go for tip number 3, the third step for turning your backyard into a food forest. And that has to do with integrating herbs that attract beneficial insects and pollinators. Talk to me about that.
All of the herbs flower. I would think specifically the ones that I would favor are things like oregano, lavender, lemon balm is very attractive to pollinators. And not only do they flower and attract pollinators, but their flowers are very tiny and they attract some beneficial insects, specifically the parasitic wasps that prey on bugs that you don't want in your garden. Plus, they exude an odor that can be confusing to pests. So lavender, for example, if you come across lavender, you can smell it, several feet away. So can the pests. But if they're looking for an apple tree and they encounter this lavender smell, they've lost the scent of the apple, right? The other thing is a lot of these herbs have oils that sublimate. They evaporate into the air, and many of them have antifungal qualities. So they can actually provide protection against fungal disease for some of your fruit trees and berry bushes if you have them on the ground cover layer.
Is there any other advice that you would like to share with people?
My goal was to inspire more people to try their hand at this, and I hope that you will just jump in and do it. Do your research, but then just make a plan and implement it and observe and enjoy learning from nature.